Okay. Welcome to the RSGPodcast episode 84?
Every time it's that question. We sat here for 20 minutes talking about what we're going to talk about, but we did not discuss, what number is this time?
Yeah.
We never do it till it's go time.
We never do it till it's time, right?
Till it's go time. Then we're like, oh, shit.
Well, I think we're going to have to get away from numbers in general anyway, just because...
Yeah.
Episode this one.
Episode this one, yes.
Yeah.
I guess we'll just have to come up with the names right before we actually start recording.
Well, we'll just let Ryan pick it up on the fly. It's like, Ryan, you make up the name of this episode on the fly, bro. Let's go.
All right, that's how we'll do
welcome
it.
to now, bam, that's what it is.
From now on.
It's up to you.
All right.
Episode Superman dies both literally and physically, or figuratively.
And monetarily.
Monetarily. So,
Which is one of the things we're going to talk about tonight. It has now been, a week after the initial love affair with Batman vs. Superman came out?
Yes.
People are starting to rethink things. They're starting to think maybe Superman's not right for them. they're thinking about, maybe...
It's probably a good thought.
This this relationship's about to get terminated. But, so we're going to discuss that. Also, one of our favorite films is now on Netflix, and the viewing pleasure for everybody, which He Never Died.
Yeah.
Which, we could discuss it, or you can go back and listen to our episode, He Never Died, where we discuss that entire
We talk
movie.
about him never dying?
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
Check it out. It's on Netflix. What else? It's some Doctor Strange.
Yeah, some set shots.
Yeah, which
photos from the set of Doctor Strange.
looks kind of cool,
Showing up with Benedict Cumberbatch looking all Doctor Strangey.
That's the first time he said his name, the name, and
like
not yeah.
Not like Biddy Ding Cumberty Bump or whatever.
There you go. Biddy Ding Cumberty Bump. That's the episode name right there.
Yeah. Well, I finally give it in. He's gonna be Doctor Strange, and I'm gonna have to hope it doesn't suck. So
if he puts the same
I just don't want to see autistic Doctor Strange,
bro.
That's all he does.
How is he autistic?
He's all the time I don't know how to react to other people. I don't know how to react to other people, guy. That's how he always is in every one of his movies. He's super smart. I don't know how to super smart, socially awkward dude in every one of his movies.
How many movies have you seen?
More than I would care to publicly admit.
So 3?
For someone who gave...
Sounds like you're a closet...
yes, that's what it sounds like.
Lover.
Well, see, he'll watch every movie that he comes out with just so that he can be he's still the same person. But I'm going to watch all of his films.
I like to feel well-armed in my opinion about how awful he is.
Okay, well, you got to know your enemy.
Right, Sun Tzu, know your enemy.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
And that guy is my enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Chiwetel Ejiofor also shows up in the pictures as Baron Mordo.
Yeah.
Who's, I think it is going to be interesting, right? Because he starts off friend, ends up foe.
As it is.
Yeah.
As it is, yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see if they if that relationship develops towards foe in this movie, or if it stays friend.
Good question.
Right, because basically Strange comes along and supplants Mordo as the chief apprentice to the Ancient One.
Right.
And inherits all the powers, and that makes Baron Mordo sad face, as you would expect that it would. So, it'll be interesting to see how they do that, and what they do with that overall. The pics, he looks good in the pics, I suppose. He looks good in the he looks good in the He
shots.
still looks like Bimbleby Cumberty's butt, whatever. So there's that against him. But other than that, the costume looks good. Although it looks heavy, looks like he's wearing robes and something underneath of his robes.
Who,
I think it's the belts. I think it's
it could be the 9 belts that he has on.
Well,
but it
the
looks
9
heavier
belts
than
symbolizes his magical prowess. Okay?
I would. Is that what it is? They're 9 belts.
It's like black belts, but you get a new belt each time you go up in power.
It's this one's my fireball belt, and this one's my... Yeah, I don't think that's the case, man, but
it totally is. Each buckle has the symbol of the element that he's mastered.
It could be. It just looks heavier than Doctor... And maybe I'm just misremembering, but Doctor Strange always felt like his robes were lighter than that, and his robes look heavy.
Well, there's 2 problems. One, comic book robes
are fake.
Are fake.
Right, correct.
They're much more flowy than they probably actually
They probably
are.
should be, right?
So there's that.
That's fair.
And he definitely has more accoutrements.
Ooh,
Yes.
fancy word.
Yeah, in these screenshots than Doctor Strange has in the comic.
Yeah,
books.
they're definitely going with the 90s Doctor Strange, where we put straps and buckles and everything on all kinds of everything in a comic book.
Well, he has to have a place to put all those beanbags.
All about pouches.
Lightning bolt.
Excellent point. I hadn't thought of that. So he does need a place to put all of his beanbags.
Also, did you guys want to touch on? Well, Division content's coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Connor and I will discuss a little bit on that since Roby could care less.
I'll make fun of you for it the whole time.
That's cool.
I'll chime in.
I think there's some Destiny content, but we're not touching that.
We don't care.
I hear that the Destiny content's very disappointing because it's basically just Taken King 2.0.
I wish I could say I was surprised about that.
And everyone's always like, we did that. but we did that, guys. And they're like, no, it's cool. It's different now. They got new guns. They're a little bit different, slightly better now. It's cool. But I've not heard good things about the new Destiny content. Only bad things.
Right.
See what else?
Talk a little bit about Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
Yeah, Final Fantasy 15. They had a big thing.
It was like 3 hours long.
3 hour long conference.
Yeah,
reveal
for just this game.
For just Final Fantasy 15 and all the other things they're doing around it. It was crazy.
Yeah, because
I actually watched the whole 3 hour thing.
So did I.
Wow.
So did I.
Wow.
Yeah. It was interesting because we got a demo for this game a ways back. If you pre-ordered Final Fantasy, I can't remember what the name of the game was, like Type 0 something or another. Anyways, you got a small demo.
Was
for
it the
Final
expansion
Fantasy
for 14?
No, it was not. It was a completely different game. But anyway, you got a small demo for it at that point, and then there was a lot of people were like, I don't know about this, and okay, here's what needs to be changed, and so we heard about the changes, some of the changes they were thinking about making, brought the demo back out, but since that time, it's been silent.
It's been silent for a while.
It's been silent, and everyone's like, is this still happening? Because it just didn't seem like, it seemed like they didn't care that much, or they didn't put that much effort in. Nobody really knew.
Yeah, we didn't hear much, so.
From left field, they're like, by the way, here's a conference for this game, and a whole bunch of stuff came out about it.
Yeah.
Not just the game. That's one of the more interesting. I guess we can start off with that if you want.
Well, let's do that. I like how Final Fantasy as a brand has gotten to the point now where it constitutes a 3 hour conference. Final Fantasy games have always been cool. They came out, you dropped, you play it, you enjoy it, you talk to your friends and stuff like that. But or it's made headlines at different game conferences and stuff like that. But never its own thing for this period. That's a long time.
Final Fantasy hasn't really been big since 11, I would say.
Do you even, I honestly didn't know that much about 11, but then again, I probably
11 was
wasn't.
all online. It was the MMO, it was the EverQuest version of, and it was a hard MMO that required grinding and grouping.
Yeah.
And it was a serious business MMO.
Yeah.
That's why that guy got so angry about his Cloud song in the infamous clip that I'm pretty sure you can still find it somewhere.
Yeah, it was in reality, that clip where he's flipping out about his Cloud song was probably hours and hours and hours and hours worth of effort and grinding that he put into it.
Yeah.
And then somebody
stole his Cloud song. Don't get me wrong, I like to make fun of him too, but I understand his anger and pain.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, I'd handle it differently, but yes, I understand it.
I understand it. But 12 was sort of It came out at the end of PS2, right before PS3 launch. I think I'm pretty sure that's where it came out.
Yeah.
And but it wasn't PS3 compatible, and so it sort of was a small deal, and no one really cared about it. 13 came out. A lot of people hated it.
13 was the one that changed the combat system, right?
Yeah. 13 was the one with lightning, right?
Yeah, lightning and snow.
Lightning and snow.
Yeah, and hope.
And hope. Yeah. A lot of people really didn't like it because it was, it kind of changed up the combat system. It was a lot less about choosing individual actions and more along the lines of choosing stances, I guess.
Yeah, but you choose a role. You choose a role for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, so you choose either they're a tank type role, or a magic casting DPS role, a physical DPS role, or a healer or a support. And you get 3 people in your team, and you can set up to 6 different combinations of stances you can switch between. You can have and so each person has can be 3 different possible roles. Snow was healer, or physical DPS, it was tank, physical DPS, or magical DPS. And those were his 3 roles. So you could have like, you go DPS, 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 or you go like tank, DPS, healer, or you go tank, support, healer, to like buff up all your people. Your support also did debuffs. And so depending on who was in your party and what combinations you had, you could go through all these different setups, and you could switch them after every turn or in between turns or whatever to like do whatever you wanted. But you didn't assign your other teammates individual actions. You assigned whoever your leader was individual actions, and the individual actions were different based on what his role was.
Basically,
what was, but
the system was annoying.
it was kind of annoying. I got used to it. I didn't mind it so much after I got used to it. But I think a lot of people's problem with that was not as much the combat as it was the linear storyline. Because there was no, like... It wasn't open world until, like, the very, very end, when it really didn't matter that much anymore. And until then, it was all, like, linear storyline running down hallways to get to the next spot, and it was a lot like watching a movie.
Yeah. The story seemed okay. I didn't like the combat at all, really. I don't know. It wasn't a big fan of 14. Or 13, rather. Then 14, of course, was the new online game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was...
A Realm Reborn. Well, it came out and it bombed.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
It bombed
didn't do
hard
well
when it first came out. They had to completely redo the systems for it. Completely redo them. And once they redid the systems and redid some of the maps and redid the combat and everything else in the game, came back out as a Realm Reborn, quite successful.
Yeah.
It's doing real well.
It's pretty good that they actually took the feedback of what caused it to fail in the first place.
Yeah, made some changes.
Right.
Yeah, made some changes. They they released it on the PlayStation 4. You can play it, on console now as well. So it's doing real well for itself. I enjoyed that game. I didn't play it a lot, but I did play some, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was as far as MMOs go, it was pretty standard fare, but it was well done and it was good standard fare.
I thought at low levels it was good, but like once you got a little higher, it became way too repetitive. I realize all MMOs are repetitive.
Yeah, I don't really.
I get that.
I'm not sure what you're talking about here.
It just felt too repetitive and not rewarding enough in its repetitiveness.
How long did you play it at max level? I don't think any of us played at max level that long.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying even before I got to max level, it felt it was getting too repetitive.
Well, like any MMO, man, it's like one of these things where the game doesn't start. You don't start getting gear and getting rewarded until you hit max level. It's just the way it works.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it did get repetitive in the sense that you were constantly doing like the different, area events that came up and stuff. You weren't getting a lot for it other than XP.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. I didn't think it was any different really than any other MMO in its repetitiveness or its reward-based repetitiveness. Because the fact is if you get a bunch of cool gear at early levels, you're just going to level out pretty fast. So, I mean, I was perfectly fine with the way. I mean, XP
but you want to be able to... But it felt like you didn't keep up with the curve.
I felt like I was fine. I never had an issue.
What was the highest level you got to?
I was 10 levels from max, I think.
Okay.
Give or take. I got higher than anyone else besides maybe Dave. I think Dave got higher than us, but
maybe he did.
I can't remember for certain. I think he did, but maybe not.
The cat is cracking me up.
Well, anyway, so they finally, now we come to 15.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was silent for a long time. They had a 3-hour conference. I think, what was it like?
It was the 30th.
Wednesday or something like that?
The 30th. Thursday. Okay.
Wednesday,
Thursday. Oh, one of those.
Something like that.
Did you guys get together and watch that conference?
No, I watched it online after the fact.
Yeah.
But
I may still check it out if it's still there.
Yeah, you absolutely should.
Yeah,
absolutely. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of just talking going on as well. So, but there's a lot more that's being released than just the game, which comes out on the 30th of September, by the way, this year.
Yep.
An animated series.
Yes, they're doing an animated series based on the environments of what's going on around the Final Fantasy 15 storyline.
Cool.
Yep. And
they're
also
doing a movie,
an Advent children's style movie.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I was a huge fan of Advent Children.
Yeah, it looks really good.
The trailer for it's called Kingsglaive. The trailer for it looks really good.
Yeah.
You know what else they're doing a trailer for? Sidetrack off the game completely. Or not a trailer, but they just released a 15-minute sneak preview of the Killing Joke, the animated series Killing Joke they're doing.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And they got Mark Hamill back as the Joker.
Joker.
And they got the original animated series cast back. Like the voices for him to do it. So,
That's pretty cool.
yeah.
But
keep an eye on that.
We got to play 15. I got to play the demo a little bit today.
Yeah.
You've watched videos on the demo, I assume, Ruby? So the demo.
Sorry, I was nodding. Yes, I have watched the videos.
Okay.
I was like, yes.
can't see you now.
People can't see me nod, man.
But the demo is it's short and sweet. It's not long at all. It's about a dream that Noctis is having, and so you're actually just the little kid version of Noctis
Right.
for a large portion of the of it, and it kind of introduces a little bit of combat, which at first seems pretty simplistic, but I think it will ramp up in difficulty and with once you get more skills and stuff.
I just want to comment on the sound of the toy hammer. Is amazing. Like, it sounds like the little squeaky toy hammer that all the kids have.
Yep. Boop.
Yep.
Squeak.
Nice.
But it seems like it's going to be real fun. It looks like you can switch weapons pretty quick on the fly. Like in the middle of combos, you can switch to another weapon and it'll do something, which is a little weird because you switch weapons by using the D-pad, but you move around with the left stick. So
Yeah, that's gonna be
sometimes you have to
complicated.
Stop moving.
Yeah, stop moving.
Stop moving to
for a
switch a
minute
weapon or whatever.
To switch a
yeah.
weapon. Now, I mean, it's pretty quick, and if you're already facing the bad guy and swinging, he'll switch like very quickly. So you might not have to worry about stop moving so much because you still move forward a little bit with your attacks.
Right.
Anyways, it looks pretty. I think it's less detailed than I think the system's capable of.
Yeah, it didn't look like maybe they haven't finished polishing the graphics either.
Maybe not. I think it's gonna be. I don't know. It felt a little.
Little Final Fantasy VIII.
The texture, well, it wasn't that bad, but yeah, the textures were definitely not as detailed as I thought they would be. But you know what, I was fine with it for the most part. I'm okay with that. It wasn't. They weren't shiny like they were made out of plastic. So I was
Right.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see how it looks when it comes out. But it looks like an interesting story.
It does. I'm actually really looking forward to the animated series and the movie.
Yep. I want to play the Broad Trip.
Yeah, the Broad Trip looks pretty awesome. Honestly, I'm like, dude, the Broad Trip just seems cool to me. I'm like,
Right.
It's playing Brocation,
Right.
but we're killing monsters in the middle of it.
Yeah.
On top of that, the environments are absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the use of the Stand By Me cover by Florence and the Machines
Yeah.
is not lost on me as we watch these four boys travel into the wood on a journey or whatever.
Not lost on me either.
I was like,
Was that what I wasn't sure about? It was like, okay, is this actually part of the trailer, or is this something they just played at the thing as part of the trailer, like as part of the trailer reveal? Because it sounded to me like it might have been coming out of the set speakers as opposed to actually being part of the trailer.
of the trailer itself? I don't know.
It seemed a little. I mean, I understand it wasn't lost on me either, but it was a little misplaced. I felt.
Yeah, a lot of people complain that they don't think it's a good song for a Final Fantasy game.
It's not. It's not, and hopefully they don't play that in the game. I really hope they don't.
Yeah.
They had some great music in the demo though.
Yeah.
So it's fantastic. All in all, I'm really looking forward to it. It seems like it's a much bigger deal. It looks like Sony's kind of taking the what's it called, the sort of the long route with this one. You know, they're not just like gonna churn this out and say here's an awesome Final Fantasy game, on to the next one. They're
taking their time.
So they're going to hold on to it. They're going to create more stuff for it, DLC and stuff.
That's what it looks like. It looks like they're trying to invest a lot into like this being a very large title for the
That's
series.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if you know or not. Speaking of video games, as we move on, the next of the Overwatch shorts dropped today.
I did see that. I have not watched it yet.
Yeah, I've not watched it yet either, but it did drop today.
We'll watch it after this, and then we won't report on it on our cast because we're irresponsible podcasters.
That's what we do.
That's right.
But it exists. Come on and watch it.
We have a lot of stuff to talk about today, so that's fine. Let's move on to the next subject.
Batman vs. Superman numbers drop.
Yeah. Takes a overall 68% drop, something like that.
That was like 80 something, wasn't it?
Well, domestically it's 80 something.
Oh, okay.
But overall, globally, because now we talk like these days we have to talk about global box office.
Fair enough.
Because China is a competitive size with box office with America, and the rest of the world makes up for honestly, it's made only 250 million domestically, but 600 million overall.
Right.
Which means that the vast majority of the money that's making is not in America.
Right.
Which, I mean, $600 million is a decent amount of money. Like,
yeah.
But how, like, what's the cost for that movie? Do we know?
They're saying it's 250 million in production and 150 million for marketing, which seems low based on the amount of marketing that they did.
It does seem pretty low.
Because they marketed the motherfucking shit out of this movie.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But if that's the case, I think the number that they have to shoot for is like, in order to break even, is like 700 somewhere, because the box office numbers are just what the theaters brought in.
Right.
The theater gets some of that money. All that doesn't go back to the movie people.
Right.
So they have to actually make like 700 million box office to break even, something like that. So they're pretty close to breaking even. But breaking even doesn't get us a Justice League movie.
Yeah. But I mean,
it doesn't get a Zack Snyder Justice League movie for sure.
Would you want a Zack Snyder Justice League movie?
No.
Zack Snyder is the Kevin Feige of DCEU at the moment, of the DC Cinematic Universe.
So
he's the guy who's in charge of setting the tone for the whole universe and how things are going to be and who's going to be what and how they're going to do it. He's their guy.
Would you want to go see it? I mean, because
do I want to see it?
Based on Batman vs Superman.
Dude, this guy is written in plot holes like it was his job.
Right.
So,
He sets up. Here's the thing about Snyder. He does a great job at setting up spectacle, and visually he sets up some great scenes.
Technically, it's even a very good movie.
But he can't write a plot. He can't direct a plot. He does like one of the things I noticed that during the movie that I couldn't put my finger on, but that somebody pointed out later in a review I read, is that there are no establishing shots in this movie. You go close up to close up to close up to close up. The next scene, you just a close up of somebody else, a close up of someone else, a close up of someone else. There's no establishing shots. You never like get a moment to settle into what's going on in the environment around or whatever like that. There are no establishing shots really.
That's true. I never thought about that.
Very few of them, and that makes it somewhat jarring. I'm like, yeah, I get that. I don't know if I want to see another Snyder Justice League or not. You know,
I don't.
And
I'm with
the whole
you.
thing,
I don't either.
I don't like the way Snyder does Superman. I just don't like his version of Superman. His gritty, grimdark Superman doesn't... I don't like it. I mean, it is what it is, and that's fine, but I don't like it. And Superman's supposed to be the guy that sets up the Justice League. It's always been Superman's deal.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But if he did, and Justice League is next, then Batman's going to have to set it up?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, they've already heavily show that that's what was going to happen,
right?
You know, with Superman being dead and Batman saying he was going to gather the others.
Yeah.
You know,
so it's going to be Batman, Justice League, and there's and then who's going to be the bad guy for Justice League 1?
Apocalypse. Sorry.
Darkseid.
Darkseid, yeah.
You think so?
Would work.
They set up Darkseid in this one to be.
It seems like it.
Well, and there's a deleted scene where you see them setting up Darkseid a lot more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's what the other thing. Like, I've heard a lot of people who say that like the fix for this movie is to make it longer.
No.
Everyone's
absolutely
like,
not.
Everyone's like, wait, the director's cut's going to be brilliant. It needs that extra half hour, 45 minutes.
Like, is that just hope
of the movie, and it'll be great. I'm like, no, I think that's just people who are dumb.
Yeah, that's just hope.
What this movie needed is like 45 minutes less, and we need to put that 45 minutes in with some of the deleted scenes and make our actual second Superman movie, and then make this movie.
They could have used a whole like rewriting in reality. Like this just felt like, after having some time to think about it, it just felt like little more than like, I don't know how to put it. I guess just fanboy like visual porn.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, because there wasn't a lot of. I don't think there was a lot of like solid, like actual storytelling going on here. You know,
there was not.
It was. They had what could have been a very interesting interaction with Batman and Superman, and then they like kind of ruined it.
Well, we did not need Lex Luthor in this movie at all. We set up Batman disliking Superman based on him destroying Metropolis in a fight with Zod.
Yeah.
We don't need, and in the end, they don't even have that ideological argument where they're like, where Batman's like, we gotta kill everyone, that's how we solve things, like, we have to fight brutally and stuff like that, and Superman's like, no, it's cool, we can still be good and save the world.
Which didn't make sense, because he's like, oh, we gotta fight brutally and that'll solve the world. Well, that's kind of what Superman was doing in the first movie. There's a lot of, I don't know, it wasn't good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we don't have to go back into it, we've already talked about it, but the thing is that the reason why this movie is dropping is because it's not good.
Right.
It's not a good movie.
Yeah.
It has a lot of problems.
The only people who don't complain about the plot holes are people who are like, my favorite thing is people who are like, well, why don't you read the 2 or 3 different comic series that this is based off of?
That's not what it's...
That's the problem.
That's the problem.
It's based off of 2 or 3 different comic book stories, and they mishmash jammed them together to make one movie, and it was bad.
Yeah.
Because they didn't do any of the plot lines justice.
Yep. Anyway, so yeah, numbers have dropped. Doesn't look great.
Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna
bode well.
I don't know if it's gonna make the $1 billion.
I don't think it will.
It's gonna be real. If it drops off
650 now, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
After 2 weekends, so if it stays long enough in the theaters, it'll make it. But it's gonna have competition pretty soon. The new Jungle Book movie comes out middle of April. That's gonna give it some competition.
A little bit.
You know.
Yeah, a little bit. I plan on watching that. Actually, that looks pretty good to me.
It does. Yeah.
So there'll be some new big things coming out soon. Because right now it's got the box office to itself. I mean, it opened up this weekend. It had to compete with Zootopia. It's been in theaters already for a month.
Yeah.
And God's Not Dead 2, which I never even heard of before.
I don't know.
And some other third movie in a series that I'd never heard of before either. And I'm like, oh well, so no competition then.
Yeah.
So it means that nobody went to the movies this weekend.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if I want to see Zack Snyder do it. I would like to see another one. The problem that people are having is they are trying to catch up to Marvel in the movies, where they just need to set their own pace.
Right, do their own thing.
And do their own thing. This is the problem that we've seen a couple times. We had this problem with Spider-Man. We had this problem, because the second Spider-Man was god-awful. But part of the reason why it was so god-awful is because they just shoved way too much shit into it. Again. They didn't learn it all from the third Spider-Man.
Yeah, from Spider-Man 3.
Right.
Too much shit, guys. Just stop it.
Right. One bad guy
take your time.
Plenty.
Yeah.
Because these movies will be successful if you make them well.
Yeah, develop your world slowly and do it. That's what we have to do. So, but they're trying to catch up, and I don't understand why they're trying, because it's not a zero-sum game. Maybe they think the saturation point's coming, and I think that has something to do with it. I think the Marvel movies are still relatively successful in the saturated environment because they're fun.
Yeah.
You can go to the movie and enjoy a fun time. You can watch some rock stars do rock star things and enjoy it, have a fun time. Batman vs. Superman's not fun.
It has some awesome moments.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
But
Overall,
it's not fun.
Yeah. I think, as far as the saturation thing goes, I think there's always going to be a market for it. It might not be as big as it once was. It hit the scene and it's blown up because this is our generation of kids going, woo,
Yeah.
But, I think it's going to fall off, but I think there's always going to be a market for it because there's always going to be kids who are into comic books. There's always going to be teenagers who want to see this stuff.
Well, there's always going to be adults who are still like us who are still going to go back and see it anyway.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. You know what I mean? We're not going to. The comic book people are still going to go see comic book movies.
I mean,
but if they don't make enough money to sell to general audiences, how many more will we see?
That's what I'm saying. I think the general audience is going to be even broader in the future because it's becoming more and more acceptable. This isn't a nerd thing anymore. This is just a thing. The audience is going to be broader as kids get older, become teenagers, grow up, be adults. It's not just going to be a very small section of people who enjoy this stuff.
I mean, kind of like how Star Wars has become.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's not just Star Wars isn't just a sci-fi thing anymore. Mm-hmm. It's a cultural thing. And I think that's the way the comic book movies will head. And I think there's always... Look at it this way. How many fucking Pokemon games do we have?
Oh.
Like,
How many Pokemon movies?
No. I know it's on a different scale. Okay, so don't argue the scale. I'm talking about the fact that Pokemon, if anything has been oversaturated, it's going to be the Pokemon games.
Pokemon. That's fair.
And the cards and all, but there's always a market for it because there's always kids who love it, who want to collect them all.
Right, and you get new kids involved in it all the time. Right,
And,
I get your point.
Continue to release these games at a breakneck speed, and there's a ton of them.
Yeah,
and they're always popular.
The same.
they're always popular.
Yeah,
that always catches. So I think superhero movies will probably. I think there's always going to be a market for it. It might not be as crazy.
Every bubble bursts eventually.
I'm not saying that the bubbles. You keep saying that the bubble's going to burst. Will it lessen? Absolutely. But is there a real bubble? Is the question? Okay,
I think there's absolutely a bubble right now.
Is there?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Based on the number of movies and the amounts that are going into these movies, eventually someone's going to have a real bomb on their hands. They're going to have somebody who's going to come in and be like, there's going to be like Justice League 1 where they invest $500 million in making a movie and they don't make all their money back. And that's going to make the people who have the money go, we don't make comic book movies anymore because it's not worth our time. We'll make whatever the next big thing is instead.
It can't be a bomb, Roby. It'll have to be multiple.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it would have to be. It can't be
one bomb. Yeah, because we've already had that with Fen Stick. Like that movie cost a lot of money to make, not $500 million, but it cost a lot of money to make that movie, and it bombed big.
Fair enough.
And it's gonna have to be multiple movies. It's gonna have to be a string of them because they can just go back and look at the other numbers of the other movies that are being made.
So it'd be almost like if Civil War 1 and 2, as well as Infinity War 1 and 2, like if they all just were terrible.
Yeah, if the Infinity War movies bomb, that will be the bubble breaker because that's like $1 billion budget for those movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For both of those movies, and
I still can't believe that.
Neither of those movies make their money, that will kill it for Disney. Once it dies for Disney, it'll die for everyone else.
Disney will go back to making kids cartoons and stuff like that.
Well, they'll move on to the next They'll move on to the next Star Wars, whatever the next Star Wars success is.
Yeah.
So yeah. I don't know. We'll see what the future brings. So
I don't know. I think as long as there's people out there who want to watch it, they will continue to make movies for it. Even if they might be smaller in scale, may not command the sort of numbers they do
go back
now,
to the 90s Captain America movie, but with better CGI and no longer fake, awful fake rubber foam, Red Skull, whatever.
Right. Well, and I think the acting in general will be fine for him. It's just not going to be like the super A-list actors that they have. Well, to be frank, a lot of the A-list actors that they have now a lot of them were kind of made or remade.
Oh yeah.
Due to the RDJ, established actor. Not saying he was terrible. He was an established actor.
Well, but he had a lot of drug problems, and his career was not anywhere.
It was nowhere.
It was nowhere when he became Tony Stark.
And Iron Man absolutely reinvigorated his career.
Right, because nobody remembers how much everyone was like, RDJ's Tony Stark? Why would you do that?
Yeah. And Chris Evans had been
killed it.
Yeah.
Chris Evans had been in a number of movies, also a legitimate actor, but
fantastic.
He didn't have a huge career.
No.
But after this, it blew up.
Yeah.
It became huge, and he got to the point where not only could he get a part in other movies, but he could start directing, which is what is really
that's what he wants to do. Yeah,
right.
He start directing, making his own movies and stuff like that. So I'm
just saying you're going to reach the general population saturation point eventually, and when it happens, a lot of the heyday money that they're making now is going to go down significantly, and that's going to mean there's going to be less movies. And I think part of the reason why DC is trying to rush so much is because they feel that pressure of that saturation point coming, and they want to make their money now before it's too late for them to make
Which
their
is
money.
a damn shame because what they're doing is they're creating...
It's just increasing
the chance of that
pressure on the bubble instead of, in a hurry instead of slowly.
I don't think you're ever going to see a stop of superhero movies. I think they're going to come steadily from here on out as a general rule. I think you're just going to... I don't think they're going to be... I think they will slow down, but I don't think they're ever just going to outright stop. I think it's something that's going to be a cultural thing. It just sort of gets accepted into the culture as a thing that happens from here on in,
Are we going to see new heroes developed only in the movies?
That's a really good question, right?
Because how many times can we retell Captain America's story about something?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a really good question.
Or the X-Men.
Well, I mean, you say that, but how many times has Marvel done it?
Right. They've been doing it for a long time on a
Yeah.
monthly basis. But they also tell a lot smaller stories in the comic books than they tell in the movies. You know what I mean? So
Well, the key is that because you can't do the same thing with the movies as you do with the comics. In the comics, the heroes are ageless.
right.
That is just not possible in the movies
Right.
for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to start eating up other content eventually, which there is plenty to pull from. So will we see any new ones developed? I doubt it. There's just too much already there to start doing that, in my opinion.
We'll see, I guess. I think it'd be more interesting if they went with new people as opposed to like keep bringing like lesser and lesser known comic books into the limelight or whatever.
No way. Because here's the thing: if they start bringing other people from like smaller parts from other Marvel IPs, then they have carte blanche to do what they want with those IPs and blow those IPs up in other markets. Like, they could develop like someone in the movies and then create a comic book line for them. But why do that if you already have a comic book line out there? They're just gonna, and that's what they've done so far, almost entirely. I don't think we have any like really new superheroes.
No, we don't. Not to my knowledge. Other than whatever they're doing with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, some of those are new, but some of them aren't.
Well, some of them are just spin-offs of other people who exist.
Yeah.
But they're not the same people.
That in that Wolverine movie, Origins, they created a new character for that. Now, I know...
We're talking about Deadpool?
No, the Will.I.Am character that he played.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's not a real comic book character, but he was, like, they made it...
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was also
he wasn't?
just a plot device.
No. I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
He's basically as a plot device,
Yeah,
too.
but I mean, and that makes sense. His story was told in there. I mean, like, if he would have survived and that movie was actually decent, then it would have been cool to see something on his own. Like,
Well, a lot of the mutants they add there are not going to be good. Speaking of which, they are doing a New Mutants movie.
Really?
Or television series, one or the other.
Probably a television series, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a television series. And so they've done some casting for that. And Maisie Williams of Game of Thrones Arya is going to be Rane, the werewolf chick.
That reminds me. I'm sorry.
cool.
Going back to Final Fantasy real quick. The Final Fantasy Advent Children's style movie, what is it called again?
Kingsglaive.
Kingsglaive is going to have Sean Bean, Lena Headey, and someone from Breaking Bad. I can't remember his name now.
Aaron Paul.
Aaron Paul, yeah.
Is it Aaron Paul?
Aaron Paul, yeah.
will Sean Bean's character live?
Great question. Probably not. I think Sean Bean's character is the king who I believe dies.
Of course. Because Sean Bean can't survive.
But yeah, anyways, go ahead. Maisie Williams.
Sean Bean lived all the way through Jupiter Ascending.
He did.
And it was a goddamn horrible movie.
No, he didn't. When that movie died, he died with it.
But basically, this is going to be Rane, the little werewolf chick. I think it's a great cast.
That is a
It's
fantastic
a great cast, actually.
That is a
she
fantastic cast.
Yeah, I think she's going to be really good in that. And they cast some other people. They cast somebody to be Magic.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, they're doing Magic. And I was like, damn, Magic? Really?
I'm okay with this. I love
Ileana
Magic.
Rasputin? Like Magic?
Yeah.
All right, man.
Magic is Colossus' little sister.
Yeah.
Who basically becomes like the Lord of Limbo, like rules a part of hell basically.
Yeah.
She's a real badass. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting to see what they do with the whole New Mutants thing or whatever. Because I'm like, I'll check this out.
Yeah.
Check this out. See what's going on with it.
I'm down.
So yeah, should be interesting.
Well, what else do you guys want to talk about?
I thought we had something else that we covered.
You want to talk about the diversion?
The diversion.
The diversion.
Division has announced, like, they've put a list out and show you what you're going to get. Like, if you go to their website, you're going to see all the different things. Like, you got the incursions are coming this month in April, next month in May is conflicts, something all the way up until June. So you got April, May, and June. And the one I'm looking forward to is in June, Underground, where it's all through the sewers, because I really like what they did with the whole, like, sewers and stuff in that. I think it's kind of crazy that the CDC or whatever actually had to go down through there and put up the, like, quarantine tape and stuff, but...
Well, what I'm particularly excited about as far as the Division goes is that, like, if you look at some of the pictures, you have, like, Last Stand, which comes out in winter. It has the Statue of Liberty, a little skull face on this, which means, hey, we get Ellis Island, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully. Obviously, this is just us, like, speculating, but really I'm wanting to see a number of different things with these. I want to see them open up Central Park, which has been closed. It's, like, right behind the Dark Zone.
Like, when you go over and hover over, it just says out of bounds. It's there. You can see it when you get to the gate. They haven't opened it up.
They haven't opened it up. Yeah, so that whole, I mean, really, the division right now is very, very small.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to them opening it up a little bit. I'm hoping, sincerely, that when they open it up, they do it in a more open world sort of way. One of my biggest problems with, like, it would have been fine to only allow, like, maybe 10 or 15 other players in the same zone that you're running around in the outside world, where there's no PvP. Not the Dark Zone, but because then it's like, oh, you see him occasionally, and it's just kind of an interesting, like, way of getting you into the game, because there's other agents or whatever, but there's not that many, because you're not seeing, like, thousands of other players running around killing some dudes you're killing. But, like, 10 or 15 in the same shard would be fine. So I'm hoping to, like, see a little bit more interplay there. I doubt that that's going to happen. But
I didn't really like the whole, like, I honestly expected you to run into other agents. Like, I understand why they didn't, because some of the things that you'd run into, you'd have to constantly wait for respawns and stuff like that in the outside world. But it would be nice to be able to just, like you said, run around, because granted, I know you're independently acting. You know, you're like, as a division agent, you're just one person. You're activated. You go do your job. You can interact with a few others or whatever. But you ultimately have your own mission and goal. But I don't know. Yeah.
I would like to see some more interaction with other players outside of the Dark Zone. They're
finally bringing in, like, raids.
Yeah, the incursions.
That's what's coming
That's
up,
what the incursions are. They said that there's going to be mechanics. They didn't go into detail. Some of the fights now have mechanics specifically. I'm hoping to see more mechanics like we have in the final, like when you do the very final quest in the division. Right now, it's actually really, really cool. You got this helicopter that comes in, you're fighting guys in the helicopter, you have to run around and turn the turrets on, and it's actually really neat, and it's a really fun fight. Nothing else in the game right now has anything like that.
The only thing it really has, mechanics-wise, is like when you have to go, I can't remember the actual name of the mission, but we were doing it today. The one where you have to go in, you have to turn on all of you have to release the pressure in the tanks, but the mobs that come out, they have grenaders that chase you down, the shotguns. I mean, like, you have to focus fire, you have to pay attention.
Well, the thing though is you're not actually, there's no real fight mechanics.
Oh no, yeah, you can just.
It's just it's the same bad guys you fought every single time, and then when a boss or a name mob comes out, he's just a usually tougher version of, like,
just a bullet sponge.
Like he's like, oh, I'm a sniper like all the other snipers, but I hit way harder.
I've heard they're going to be drones in the incursions.
Oh, really?
And
so they're finally going to do.
They will be dropping grenades.
Oh.
I hear they're bad guy drones. I don't hear they're good guy drones.
I'm still hoping for
bad guy drones.
Well, that's like one of the things about this game is that once you get up into, like, the challenge modes, the bad guys have more abilities than you, straight up. Yeah. They're like, oh, you have a turret? We have turrets too. Plus, we're gonna hack your shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, just
all your stuff you have, like little rolling mines and stuff too. They have those as well. You're going up against enemy division agents that are like they have medics that'll run around and heal the mobs. So, like, if your people aren't focus firing the shotgun guys, the medics will run up and heal them, and you are screwed.
Yeah. So
that's what I hear though, is the drones dropping bombs on you from the sky, so that even when you're in cover, not in cover.
Sounds bad. Sounds like you're going to have to focus those drones down. Dude, if you get a group of drones and shotgun guys, you're just dead.
I'm going to be interested to see the first-person shooter universe handle those types of mechanics, because, like, they had to do a little bit of stuff like that in Destiny. I mean, first-person shooter guys could do, they got a little bit of raid mechanics, but, like, these are things where stay out of the fire. You know what I mean? These are the abilities, these are phases and things like that.
Well, Destiny it's gonna be crazy. Could do a lot more, I think, with mechanics, because there's way more actual movement in that game. Like, there's no cover system in Destiny, but there's way more movement. So they could, like, put in little platform challenge things that you have to do in the middle of raids and shit. And that, but you can't do anything like that in the Division, not in the same sort of sense.
Yeah, hyperrealism has really got them cornered as to what they can actually do as far as, like, bosses and stuff like that go.
I feel like that as well.
Like they can just keep adding more abilities to the bad guys than you have.
That sounds like the only plan they got.
Even switching them out with different guns, like having a bad guy that, like, turns around if you're hiding behind cover or doing something like that, like learning mechanics, like he pulls a missile launcher out or an RPG and shoots it at you. I mean, something like that, like, you have to constantly be moving. Well, it's like the helicopter you're talking about, the mechanics for it. Like, he'll fly around and shoot you with his Vulcan chain gun, and then at one point he goes into a phase where he's just like, okay, well, I have a ton of missiles. I'm going to lock on to all of you, and I'm going to fire my missiles, and you got to get out. And he drops like 3 or 4 missiles at a time.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, if you have more vehicle fights and stuff like that makes more sense. I think individuals, like, mechanics are going to be tougher to do, simply because the ultra-realism in it, I mean, which is already broken by the bad guys being bullet sponges, but...
Right, yeah.
But anyway, I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited for the incursions. They're basically raids.
Yeah.
I think they talked about having a little bit more, like, in the way of, like, just, like, I don't want to say dungeons, but instances.
Well, there's certainly going to be person raids.
I hear also that there's going to be gear sets.
There are going to be gear sets, that's correct.
Which is kind of good.
They're going to hide gear sets around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Which is, I think, a good thing. I'm okay with gear sets.
Yeah, I am too.
I think that gear sets give you something to work towards, so...
Yeah, gives you an achievable goal.
Yeah.
Well, it's like right now, you can hodgepodge your gear and like you can change it around to be good and like craft it to specifically what it is that you're trying to do, like a high crit or whatever, but there's no emphasis on style for it. I mean, most everything kind of looks the same. It would be cool if like the gear sets had their own unique look and stuff like that too.
That would be cool.
This is true.
Because like right now, the only thing
basically looks the same in the division right now.
Well, the only thing that you can do differently is you can buy like appearance sets. So like right now, I have a hunter set, and I look like a good old boy hunter boy with maple camo running around New York. It's funny, but
I have a suit on.
yeah. So it's like that's the only kind of independence I feel visually in that, but.
So, as far as...
Okay. So, yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I mean, that's about it. Check out Division on there. I'm sure we've forgot something. We can talk about it later, but... Yeah, we're going to go ahead and end it here. Let's see how far... Anyway.
Good. The Division's boring. It sucks.
All right, thanks for coming out. Check us out on Stitcher, Random Sub Generator on iTunes, RSG Podcast on Stitcher and iTunes, Random Sub Generator on Facebook, Twitter, RSG Podcast, and RSGPodcast.com for other stuff that we don't talk about here. You do reviews and stuff on there. Check it out.
Yeah, I need to do some more.
But yeah, we're going to go ahead and call it here. You guys have a good night.
Bye.